know what we say on this channel. If you can't stay loyal, stay single. But these people have not seen my channel clearly, and they did not listen because we have some cheating stories that are absolutely going to shock you. My girlfriend has gone MIA. This story came September 2nd, 2021. We have been together for 3 years. I, male 35, her, female 37. We met after she moved back to our hometown about 4 years ago. Some background. She, Mary, lived with a guy, let's say Bob, who is in his 40s for over 10 years. They met at their workplace. She moved to this city for a job after college. He had 3 girls under 7 years old at the time. He went through a bad marriage, then the mom disappears after the divorce. She meets this guy, they find time to date, and then she moves in with him. She's crazy in love, then for 10 years or so, she was essentially the mom and wife without being official. Mary wanted to get married and have her own children. Bob did not want to rush into another marriage. Eventually, he just told her he never wants to get married again or have more children. This, of course, crushes Mary. She felt that she lost 10 years in which to have her own children, even though she does love Bob's children. They call her mom. Mary breaks it off, moves back to this side of the country to start over. We met one night at a get-together with mutual friends that she had reconnected with. We started dating, then committed to each other. It has been almost 3 years. We have talked about marriage and children, as I have none. I'm a late bloomer. We moved in together a year ago next month. We had talked about getting married late next year. I have not proposed, but we have ring shopped. Mary has kept in touch with the girls over the last few years. They gossip and ask Mary for advice. She has not been in contact with Bob in any regular way, just birthday wishes, etc. Bob has not dated seriously since Mary left. This weekend, the oldest daughter is getting married. She asked Mary to come help her with the last-minute preparations and such. The wedding planning is set, but the daughter wanted her, Mary, to be there as the mother of the bride. Nothing to do with the ceremony, but to just be there for her. Mary asked what I thought about it. I knew she wanted to be there, so I told her I have no objections. I had to work during the week, so I could not go. Mary has been there since Monday night. She contacted me when landing and that night before bed. Then, Tuesday morning, good morning. Since then, nothing. I have texted and called with no response. The texts were read. Finally, I got a text this morning. She mentions how crazy busy she has been, no mention of why, no response. She connected with old friends and, of course, Bob. There has been a lunch and dinner of some sort each day. Friday night is the rehearsal dinner, ceremony and reception on the Saturday. The flight home is Sunday afternoon. I asked if she wanted me to fly out late Friday night to be there with her, and she said no. She thought dragging me into her old life would not be fair to me. I asked her to text me before bed and in the morning, as we did on Monday night and Tuesday morning. She said okay. Then, for some reason, I asked how her hotel room was, and I got no answer. Finally, about an hour later, I got a phone call from her. She wanted me to know that she canceled the hotel and is staying at Bob's house. They have an extra room since the bride moved out. They just put the 2 remaining daughters back into one room. I asked how long this was planned. She said the daughters mentioned it as a possibility when everything was being planned. They asked their dad and he had no problem with it. She canceled her hotel last weekend but never mentioned it to me because she did not want me to make a big deal out of it. She just wanted to be with her girls. I told her that she is being sketchy. She started crying at this point. I apologized for the name calling and I told her we can talk about it later. I don't want to ruin her wedding plans, but I am very hurt, not to mention suspicious. Do I have a right to be? Have I let my imagination run wild? Edit, Mary just texted me. She wants me at the wedding. I have to find a flight out on Friday night. After seeing some comments, I've decided not to go to the wedding. I texted her that I was not coming and that I will decide when she gets home whether we still have a relationship. I mean, yeah, I think if you're staying with your longtime ex, I think that's the discussion you have with your new partner. I think their feelings about it should be #1 priority for sure. I also think it's so unnecessary. You can still go hang out with your girls. I get that's why you're there for the wedding, but You can sleep in your hotel.
Awkward.
Let me know what you guys think so far, if he has a right to be a little sketched out by this behavior. We have our first update though, and it came 4 days later, September 6th. My girlfriend got back yesterday afternoon. I picked her up at the airport. Once we got home, we ordered some takeout. I could not wait for dinner to be over. I think she dragged it out as long as she could. She was fidgety, in constant motion, and she did not sit down. First, it was the stuff from dinner, had to unpack, wanted to get laundry started. I finally took hold of her hands and I sat her down. She immediately started crying and I had not even asked her anything. She was blubbering about how bad she felt about how she mistreated me. I let her go on until she calmed down. I started out asking how the girls were doing, how the wedding was, what were some of the things that she did in the preparation, did she do anything with the girls that was fun? This seemed to calm her down a bit and relax. Then I asked her why she disappeared and did not answer my text messages. She says that they were busy from the time she landed. She was out for meals and visiting old friends. I asked if the ex was with her during that time. He was. So I asked if it felt like no time had passed since she was home. She said it did. We went along with this vein of questions for a bit. I asked if she kissed her ex when she arrived. She said they hugged and she kissed his cheek. She said she kissed her friends whenever they met up. I asked if she held the ex's hand as they went to different places. She had. I then asked, what day did she sleep with him? She started crying, so I stayed silent. She asked me why I would ask her that question. I told her she went missing for 2 days, and when we did talk, I did not feel that she was missing me. I remained quiet. She thought about this and then started crying again. She admitted they slept together each night, except for the first. After we made plans for me to fly out Friday, she felt guilty. Then when I told her I was not coming, she was mad and slept with him the rest of the week. This is too new. Last night, but I told her we need to break up. She is talking to family right now to arrange a place to stay, so sometime this week, she will be moving out. Well, rightfully so. I mean, you slept with your ex-husband for a week, so that'll do it.
Check, please.
But the story does not stop there. We have an update 10 days later. So I had broken up with my girlfriend after she revealed that she slept with her ex several times while visiting for a wedding. She came over last night to get her remaining things with her father. While he was loading her stuff, which I had boxed up, we talked. She had been communicating with her girls throughout the time that we were together, and I knew this. She was a mother figure to them, I get it. She did not talk to ex unless it was a quick wave as he walked past the FaceTime call. Since the beginning of the year, communication picked up due to the wedding plans. The ex became a bit more involved as the plans needed to go to him. Eventually, that led to private calls between them. She missed her family. As the time neared where she would be visiting, the calls increased to the girls and the private chats to the ex. He must have just started saying all the right things. Once she landed, she stepped right back into it 4 years ago as being a family. Once they slept together, he promised her that they would get married and get pregnant. That is all she needed to hear. She would tell me when she got home, and when I told her I was flying out, that kind of turned the plans upside down. So this weekend, she is moving back to them. Wow, that was fast. She has quit her job here. She has approached her old job there, but nothing is definite. There are plenty of jobs waiting. I have nothing. Isn't that the way it is with cheaters? They go on to live their lives, leaving devastation in their wake. Yep, that's usually how it goes.
That's the way the cookie crumbles.
Again, though, we have one more small final update, and it came 3 weeks later. We are now at October 8th. I ran into her dad at the store. He said she has settled back in with her family. She had tried to contact me, but I had blocked her on everything, so her dad was just passing on one last apology. I have been working on myself, gym, reading, work, friends. I know it just takes time. I really didn't need this last gut punch though. That's wild, that's brutal. Your partner of a few years just picks up and goes back to her old life like she never had a new one. Blessing in disguise for you though, because because she might have always wanted to return to that life with her girls and her ex, especially if he's willing to get married and have kids now. That's what she always wanted. So I feel like maybe he was the one that got away to her, and she would have always held on to that in your relationship. So good riddance, blessing in disguise. Next story. I saw what looks to be a picture of my wife on my friend's phone. The picture was nude. That is some piping hot tea. This story came a long time ago, January 13th, 2016. We were sitting on the couch drinking a few beers, watching DVR reruns of The Twilight Zone. It's my day off and my friend got kicked out of his house about a month ago by his girlfriend. As far as I know, he did nothing wrong. He has been sleeping in a hotel and my wife and I offered to let him stay at our apartment for a few weeks until he can find a place on his own. Anyway, we are sitting on the couch and he runs out of beer and gets up to go to the kitchen to get another one. He puts his phone face down on the couch. I shouldn't have, but I picked it up to look at it. He was looking at a picture of my wife nude. I'm almost certain it's her. I got really uncomfortable at the thought that he's browsing his phone, looking at a picture of my naked wife while next to me. I quickly put down the phone where he had it and I locked the screen to be safe. When he came back, I went to my bedroom to type this up. Guys, what do I do? Tons of thoughts are swimming through my head. Please help. I don't want to do anything I regret. Well, you have better strength than I, because if that was me,
catch me outside. How about that?
I am not taking any time to go and type up a Reddit post. I am having that phone in my hand and I'm saying, excuse me, what is this? Right when I just spit. I'm very passionate about this, clearly. Excuse me, put that back in there. I literally would be holding the phone and addressing it as soon as he walked into that room. Like, is this my wife? Why? What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Edit. Here is some stuff to know. I told my wife that my friend, our mutual friend, has been staying in a hotel for a few weeks after he got kicked out. We both decided to let him stay for a few weeks until he gets a new place. I did not get a long enough look at the picture to say whether or not it's my wife with 100% certainty. Okay, that kind of changes things here. There was no face in the picture. I do not want to go around throwing out accusations. That changes it then. If it could not be your wife, you absolutely don't want to accuse him and also give up the fact that you were snooping on his phone for no reason at all. Now a mini update. Last night I had a pretty mean headache and I decided to just call it a night. My wife got home soon after and walked into our room. When she turned the light on, she saw me laying down. She apologized and turned the light back off and she asked me why I was laying down. I told her that I was stressed and she sat down on the bed next to me and asked me what's up. I just said, work, and left it there. She said okay, then kissed me on the forehead and asked me if I needed anything. I told her I was all right, and I fell asleep not too long after our conversation. I woke up in the middle of the night. I was having trouble sleeping, and I walked into the living room. On the balcony was my friend having a smoke, and I started feeling really angry, and I wanted to go out there and confront him. But I knew I needed to stay calm. I walked out onto the balcony, and we made small talk for a bit while he finished his cigarette. It stayed silent for a bit and I asked him why he was kicked out of his girlfriend's house. He said, like I told you before, dude, I'm really not sure. It felt like such a lie though. I'm sure he's hiding something. He said it with such a disregard for the question, kind of like when your parents would catch you doing something and they would ask you what was going on and you'd be like, nothing. We said our goodbyes exactly like that. I didn't question him any further for fear that he might think I was trying to get something out of him. We talked for a bit longer about nothing important. I got up a while later to go to the gym. From there, I went to work and I had an idea. I was going to sneak into his room and get his phone and look at it. The only problem being his door is locked. I went to the gym, but I didn't do much because I felt so discouraged. I go to work, where I am currently at now, and decided I would use the advice I was given and check the message history through our service provider. That was tough to do because I had trouble remembering our account info, but I got it all sorted. When I looked at the message logs, I felt like, again, I'm betraying my wife. So I texted her. No answer. She must not have gotten her phone yet. I waited a while until I felt my phone vibrate. She texted saying, sorry babe, got my phone back. What's up? I said, just wanted to see how you were doing. Sorry we didn't talk last night. I was really stressed. She said it's okay with the kiss emoji. And then I said, I have a question though. Do you know why blank was kicked out of his girlfriend's house? No response. That was a few hours ago too. I gave in and I checked the phone logs. There were a bunch of messages back and forth between her and myself, her and her mother, her and a few friends, and lastly, her and the guy who was staying with us. However, nothing incriminating. I assume this was the message because it was sent to me at the same time as my friend, and it was only her asking him if he wanted her to pick up something for dinner, which she also sent me. I mean, so far, okay, no incriminating messages, but they could have deleted them. You know, I'm not trying to accuse anyone, but it is surely looking suspicious if it is in fact a photo of your wife. You really need to find out if it's your wife or not. But we're about to find out because we got the final update and it came 4 days later. All right, after my last update, I headed home. I was finally going to man up and ask my friend about what I saw on his phone. When I walked in the front door, I put my stuff down and I headed towards his room. I walked past the bedroom and I heard the shower, so I figured he was in it, so I would just wait for him. I went into his room and right there on his bed next to his bag and jacket was his phone. My stomach dropped again because I knew there was no going back. I was going to pick up his phone and figure out what was going on once and for all. His phone had a passcode on it, but that was really easy to guess. I tried 1, 2, 3, 4, then the reverse, and after about 4 or so guesses, it turned out to be the year he was born. Classic. Anyway, I went to his photo reel and I opened it. I scrolled through a few pictures of different things and then I finally landed on it. I recognized the shirt and the room it was taken in. She took it. That is a picture that my wife took here in our apartment of her upper body. That was my wife and my friend had a picture of her on his phone. Okay, so confirmed the nude photo was your wife. Now we're throwing hands, right? I got really, really angry. I couldn't hold it back and I walked over to the door of the bathroom and I started banging on it like a madman. I'm yelling his name, telling him to get out here. The water goes off and he's yelling out to me, asking what I want, and I kept saying over and over, open the dang door. He finally does, and he's putting on his pants and said, what the F do you want, man? I'm getting ready for work. That's when I dropped the question, why the hell do you have a naked picture of my wife on your phone? His eyes were huge and he just started stammering, so I asked him again with more force, why the F do you have a nude picture of my wife on your phone? He was trying to speak but kept stuttering and put up his hands to try to calm me down. I wasn't going to hit him, but man, I really wanted to. He just kept saying wait over and over again. I asked, did my wife send you this? I asked him over and over. I was so incredibly angry. He finally tells me no and explains what happened. This scumbag stole the picture from my phone. I don't even know how, but apparently iCloud does BS like this where it stores your photos even after being deleted. Which reminds me, I do have to disable that and get rid of pictures. Anyway, he went to my phone and sent it to himself, then deleted the message. I can't believe I missed it when I read the phone thing. I didn't even think my texts would be relevant, so I just ignored them. That is crazy.
That's insane!
Do we believe that? I do believe that. I asked him if he had any more and he swore to God that he didn't. He only had the one and he was not going to do anything with it. He started apologizing over and over, but I didn't care. I told him to leave, to get all of his stuff and leave, and that I didn't want to see him ever again. If he came back, he would regret it. Different stuff like that. I then texted my wife that I needed to talk to her ASAP, but again, she didn't respond, which is because her phone was dead, not because she was hiding something. My wife got home like 45 minutes or so after that guy left, and when she got in, I calmly asked if I could talk to her and she said yes. And then I asked if she could plug in her phone really quick since it died at work. She didn't take long and it gave me enough time to think about what I wanted to say clearly. She came in, sat down, and I started talking. Hayden, oh, I guess we're disclosing his name now. Hayden has nude pictures of you on his phone. I wasn't going to accuse, I just wanted to tell her and see how she would react. She had a very confused look on her face, but one where you would say, what? really sternly. I explained to her all that went down with Hayden and I. She was so angry, almost as much as I was. She looked like she wanted to cry, and that made me want to cry. She kept asking where he was and what happened. I told her I deleted the picture off of his phone when I had it, and I kicked him out. She was asking if he had any other photos. I told her what he told me, and she doesn't believe that to be the truth, though. Also, if there were legal repercussions for what he did, we should seek them out, and I told her we would check it out. Secondly, I wanted to be open and honest with her. I didn't want to hide anything. I explained what happened over the past day and a half and the first time seeing it and being worried because I recognized it, but I wasn't 100% sure that it was her, and how I started getting really anxious, worried that something went wrong in our marriage and that I drove her away, and all these fears. She sat close to me and we held each other. She held me really tight and told me I was a good husband and reassured me that I was good after a bunch of bad stuff that went down in our past. She could tell that I was worried and hurt, and she was just there for me. I went over to Hayden's ex's house and I asked her why she kicked him out, and I explained the situation with him having a picture of my wife on his phone. Turns out this mother cheated on her. I was disgusted. I never expected him to do that, but after what went on, it didn't hit me as hard as I thought it would. She was pretty disgusted with Hayden's behavior and told me a lot of stuff that I never knew about him. It was really uncomfortable to hear, but she needed to vent. I went to a law office close to us and I asked around about legal repercussions of stealing someone's photos. They gave me a number of different options that I'm going to bring up to my wife. The biggest one that I see working is a lawsuit. When I got home, my wife showed me a bunch of texts that she received from Hayden. He had sent me a few, but I ignored them. He was more than likely drunk because the texts were so hard to understand. He kept apologizing and would send one every 10 minutes, and it was getting really annoying. She then turned off her phone. The rest of the day was quiet until he came to our door and started begging us to forgive him. I felt really bad. This dude was sorry, drunk, probably didn't go to work, and tired. I just told him he needed to leave us alone and we would get in touch with him later, and he was okay with that. I'm not sure where he went, but I'm assuming it was a hotel or possibly another friend's house. He started pestering us more at this time, and it was getting a bit violent, with threats and different things. This guy was just acting like a scumbag. I tried to be nice, but now he's trying to play innocent while threatening us with some of this, "I didn't do anything wrong, don't tell anyone or I will F you up." He was really pissing me off and wouldn't stop calling us. My wife was worried that he would come over and try to make good on his threats, so I just stayed with her the entire day, mildly worried myself. We both decided we are going to press charges now because of how immature he is and with the threatening us. I thought that we could handle this like adults, but now he is bringing it on himself. And there are no other updates. I would have liked an update on the lawsuit. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm nosy, but at least we know one is happening. That's crazy. So he cheated on his girlfriend, but it wasn't even with your wife. Here I was thinking it was with your wife. Nope. That's disgusting. And you're living in their house. Like, this couple welcomed you into their home. Vile. Unfortunately, we do have more cheating stories, but you know what time it is. It's hydration station. Drink your water. Cheers. I have packed one box so far. I hate packing. Moving might just be one of it's the most exciting but annoying things. Anyone else? I've moved so many times in my life, and that's probably why. I don't even know what apartment and condo I'm at this point, but I've done one box since I updated you that I was moving with these boxes. One box! Come help me. Next story. Girlfriend of 8 years made out with someone right in front of me. I mean, she's got balls to do it right in front of you. That's wild. Last night we went to a concert. We had an amazing time singing and dancing together. She was all over me. This is part of my birthday celebration this weekend. After the concert, we decided to go out to some bars. I am currently not drinking, so I went just to hang out, and I was the designated driver back. At one of those bars, she runs into her brother's old friend. They begin to talk, so I leave them alone to catch up. As I am talking to my friend, he taps me on the shoulder and he tells me to turn around. When I do, she is making out with this guy not even 2 feet away from me. I would see red. Now, she was quite drunk, which is no excuse, just to add flavor. I just left. I'm about to pull into my apartment when my friend tells me that he left as well. Now, I'm not going to leave her there with this guy to allow something else to happen, so I go back to pick her up. She is home safe but wanted to talk last night. I was so angry, so I let her have it. Not my best moment, but I was very hurt. Now it is the next day, she is not awake yet, and I do not know how to proceed. I love this woman. We have been together for 8 years and living together for 2. I do not know whether to break things off, and if I did, how to navigate the whole living together thing. I can't afford my apartment alone. I don't want that to be an excuse to continue being with her. I want to make it work, but I don't know if that is healthy. I just don't know how to process this. I just need some support or guidance from you lovely people. I mean, I surely wouldn't be able to forgive that, but if you can. Next update. Per the advice of another commenter here, I went through her phone while she was sleeping. She had multiple text chains with guys where she was sexting them and sending pictures. I woke her up after seeing this. I was shocked and on the verge of a panic attack. We talked and she said these were guys that she met on a forum. She said she was feeling insecure, but instead of going to me, she found an outlet with others. I'm typing this through tears after she left for her mom's. Listen, I was about to say, if she'll do that in front of your face, what do you think she's doing behind her back? But I didn't want to put you down. So I'm just glad that, more to the story came out. Next update. My 2 best buddies came over to just talk with me, which helped. I have not talked to her since she left for her mom's. Her mom reached out to talk since she knows exactly what I'm going through. I might just take her up on it. She is on her way back here now, and I do not know why. Now we have the final update. I have made the extremely difficult decision to end the relationship fully. I have begun to pack up her things in garbage bags. She has texted me a few times asking if we can talk. There is nothing left to discuss, but I will be heading to her mom's after work to make it clear and final about what I need to do to recover from this weekend. More than just this weekend though. Like, you're just seeing texts and photos and sexting, but what if it was beyond texts? At this point, you'll never know. She literally made out with someone and you were 2 feet away. Cuckoo bonker behavior. All right, you guys, let's say it together. What do we say about cheating? If you can't stay loyal, stay single. These people chose not to listen to that. So let me know your thoughts and feelings. I'll see you tomorrow. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy.